In the world of budget watches, there are some brands that have a better reputation and are more respected than others. Lige is one of those brands, and having 5 Lige watches myself, I can testify to that. The consistency of their workmanship related to the price of the watches is quite good. I have never had a problem with any of these watches. So today we're going to have a look at their near homage of a Rolex Yachtmaster. So let's have a look at this thing. In the introduction I mentioned that the Lige has a passing resemblance to the Rolex Yachtmaster, which it does in the face. But on closer inspection, I found that it's actually closer to the Rolex GMT Master 2 when you're taking in the bezel into account. Now, something interesting about what Lige has done with the bezel is this. If you look at the Rolex, when you turn the bezel, all the numbers that cross the 12 will appear upright. So all the numbers are in the correct order and in the correct position. Now the Lige, the bezel is fixed. So what they've done is numbers 8 to 16 have been flipped because the numbers are not rotated. So when you look at the watch, the numbers are always in the correct position. And if they copied the Rolex, the numbers 8 to 16 will be upside down. So that's a nice touch there from Lige. So going over the basic measurements of this watch, you have a 43mm dial presence, and the lug-to-lug, despite having no overhang and a vertical drop here, you still have a huge 58mm lug-to-lug length, which is considerably long. The depth, it is 12.5mm deep with a surprising 20mm lug width. A watch of these dimensions I would have expected a 22, but it is 20mm. Altogether, with the stainless steel strap, the weight is 152 grams. Now the case itself is a polished chrome applied alloy. Again, the chrome application is quite good. There's no shadowing at all. That continues up until the bezel. You have a smooth polished bezel and a brushed or kind of brushed bezel at the top. Now, one thing I liked about the bezel was that they reversed the numbers from 8 to 16 so that they're facing the right way. But one thing I didn't understand is Lige do a lot of movable bezels on their watches. I don't understand why they fixed this bezel. I really don't understand that at all. That's a few points deducted from their score. The bezel is actually not printed. The numbers are actually indented and painted black, and they've done quite a good job. I'm glad they just didn't simply paint the numbers on. They took the time to indent the numbers into the watch, from, as is on the GMT Master, from 2 to 24. Onto the dial. You have a matte black dial. Actually, this watch is available in 2 colorways, black and white. I chose the black because I think it's more legible. So you have a matte black face with applied dots all around, apart from the 6 and the 9 where you have battens, and the upside down triangle at the 12. There is no half batten at the 3. They've just put the date and the Cyclops there. The Cyclops doesn't really have any effect on magnification at all. I don't think it's even 1.5 magnified. I think it's a 1-to-1 relationship there. The dots are done quite nice. They're in lume and they're bordered with chrome, as are the battens and the triangle, which match the hands. The hands copy the Rolex hand, the Mercedes hands. You have quite a small stubby hour hand, Mercedes, and a much longer stick hand for the minutes, both chromed. Onto the second hand you have a lollipop. Now I've been looking at the ticking of that second hand. For those that have that second hand OCD, it is banging on those markers quite well. Now, one thing I like to do to check the movement, or partially check the movement, is to see, do we have that minute hand jump? Now, so directly on the 12, and I'm going to do this 2 or 3 times just to make sure. So when I press the crown in, does the minute hand jump? Yes, it does. Try that again. I'll try it with 2 fingers now on the crown. No jump there, and once more. And there's a pass, I guess that's acceptable. The details on the face, let me move those hands out. You have an applied Lige and the logo below the 12 in silver. And above the 6 you have the text 30 meters, water resistance, quartz and profession. I'm not sure what the GMT Master 2 has, but I'm sure it doesn't have profession, whatever that means. The only other detail is the crown. It's quite a large crown. It's about 6 millimeters with suitable crown guards. They're not too big, not overwhelming, and it performs its job. The action, not too loose, but I think there should be a bit more resistance with the hands there. Okay. Now, onto the back. Now, for your 30 meters, you're not going to get the screw down case. This is the snap-on case. The basic information: water resistant, full stainless steel. That's the back cover only, full stainless steel cover. And their obligatory dream. And I'm not sure why they do that, but anyway, that's them. The bracelet, again, because you have a steel bracelet and a chrome applied alloy on the case, you are going to get a mismatch of colour. The bracelet itself is quite nice. The head of the watch has quite a heft, and so does the bracelet, so it matches the head of the watch quite well. You have push pins, you have individual links, and I believe they are solid links, but I'm not quite sure. But the end link is not solid, which you're going to get that jangle because it's not solid. Ending with a butterfly deployment clasp. So you are getting a 20 millimeter lug width, which tapers down to just 18. So it doesn't taper much, not much at all. One thing I forgot to mention is that lume. This watch costs about $12 to $14, so you're going to get $12 to $14 lume, which is almost nothing. It's a nice afterthought kind of thing. But let's have a look at this thing on the wrist. And there it is. Quick wrist roll. Now, one thing that surprised me about this watch was it kind of fits. My ideal dimensions are 20 millimeter lug width, a 38 to 40 millimeter diameter on the face, and a maximum of 50 millimeter lug to lug. Now this is 58 millimeters. Now that looks like it fits, and I don't understand why. As you can see, there's hardly any gap under the right side of the lug here, and a negligible gap under the left side. I always get that gap under the left side because I have a strange wrist, but I don't understand how some 50 millimeter lug to lugs can overhang. This is 58 and it doesn't. But it is a heavy beast and it's quite big. Now it might look okay on the video here, but when I'm actually outside in the real, it does look a bit of a brick. So ideally this is suited for someone with I'd guess a 7-inch and up wrist. Someone with a bigger than 7-inch wrist would be fine. Mine is 6.5, even though that's not so bad. Now, all in all, I would say that Lige has done quite a good job with this watch. I'm not saying it's perfect, but for the money you're going to spend on this, I don't think you have any reason to grumble. Although, if I did, it would be that fixed bezel. I do not understand why they didn't make it movable, as they have done in many other of their watches. Anyway, that's my own main gripe, apart from it being a bit too big for my slim wrists. So, there you have it. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again on another BBW review with another watch on the green chair. Until then, take it easy.